Good morning, everyone. My name is Dominic Preuss. I'm the general manager for Amazon RDS Commercial Engines, and I'm very excited to be here today to talk about RDS for DB2. In this session, we're going to talk about a few things. So first, why did we build this product? Then we'll spend a little bit of time talking about what we've actually built and what you can use to build your applications. We'll talk about how the service was built in collaboration with IBM, and we'll cover some key takeaways. And as with any good session, there's a demo, so we'll do about a 5-minute demo as well. This is a theme that you've heard through all of re:Invent. Lots and lots of conversations about generative AI and the things you can do with machine learning. But the little secret is you need the data to train the actual models. And so databases and the amount of data that's being generated is even more important than ever. Continuing to see explosion of data, and 68% of organizations are still saying that they don't have full control of their data and they're not getting all the value out of the data that they want. So there continues to be a really large opportunity to improve the way that we manage our data and get value out of it, whether it be for generative AI or whatever application you happen to be running. And managing databases is hard. We have dedicated DBAs that are focused on managing these workloads for us. We have teams of engineers that are working on automation. And so managing databases continues to be a complex and time-consuming exercise. You have to do upgrades, all the new security patches, making sure that you are disaster recovery and you've got data resilience so that if anything happens, you know your data is safe. You might have performance issues. When was your last hardware refresh? Do you have the right size VM? These are all questions that we're constantly dealing with as your workloads continue to grow with all the data that you've been generating. Capacity planning. Do I have enough servers? Have I bought enough servers for the next 3 years? Do I have the right number of reserved instances on AWS? You have to think about these things as you're doing your capacity planning. And obviously, security and compliance. We've talked about security upgrades, but making sure that you've got all the certifications that you need so that your application can be compliant with whatever regulations or whatever requirements you have for your application. And so this is why 14 years ago, we built Amazon Relational Database Service, RDS. It's hard to believe it's been 14 years already that we've been doing this. We've helped tens of thousands of customers with their database workloads. It removes a lot of the inefficiencies, so the things that you would have people manually do, we can automate for you. And the only reason we can operate a service at this scale is because we have the automation and we can trust it. Things like high availability, we have a very opinionated way of doing high availability called MultiAZ, which is how we give you both high availability and resilience in the case of a AZ failure or any issues with your hardware. And you can do it with whatever database you want. With RDS, today, or on Monday, we actually announced the 8th engine for RDS. So Amazon RDS for DB2 is our 8th engine. And so we want to meet customers where they are. So you have these workloads, and you need the right workload, the database that meets your application needs. So we offer all of these 8 engines to meet those needs. As with all of the RDS engines, there's tremendous savings in doing this. So this is from the IDC report with the references on the slide. But 264% is the ROI that we saw across the study for customers that are using RDS. They've got 39% lower DB operation costs, and they're actually getting more efficiencies from their DBAs. So DBAs can, on average, manage 60% more database instances than they could before. But I think the thing that's most important is the reduction in unplanned downtime. Because of the automation that we have the least amount of downtime necessary to patch your databases and do all the maintenance tasks. And this is 97% lower than what organizations are seeing when they're managing themselves. These are the reasons that people use and rely on Amazon RDS. And so the question is, why did we add an 8th engine? So there's 2 reasons. As we went and talked to all of our customers who had MySQL and Postgres and Oracle and SQL Server and all of these various databases, they said, hey, you've done a great job of helping me move my Oracle and SQL Server workloads to the cloud. I have DB2. Can you help me move DB2 to the cloud? So we heard this request over and over again, and we brought this product to the market to help those customers migrate those workloads. The second reason is, as you've seen some of the announcements with IBM, IBM is strategically working with AWS to move a number of their database applications on AWS. And many of those applications that IBM is going to be offering rely on DB2. So we needed a reliable way that was fully integrated into AWS to help power those applications. Just like with all the RDS engines, it's all about automating all the undifferentiated tasks. Provisioning, backups, patching, monitoring, we provide all of that for you. These are things that you're not getting significant value out of above and beyond just making sure that they're happening and you're compliant. So we automate those tasks for you. Just like all the other engines, it makes it really easy to migrate your DB2 workloads from on-premise onto the cloud so you can continue your journey of moving those workloads on AWS. We'll talk a little bit later about the versions, but we're starting with 11.5. And so in the demo you see, just in a couple of minutes, we'll be able to set up a DB2 instance with high availability in the multi-zone deployment. And you'll see just how easy it is to complete that task. For this initial launch, we're focusing on bring your own licenses. So if you have existing DB2 licenses, you can leverage those licenses with the service. And we'll be talking later with IBM about how we'll be working to give you even more options to acquire and manage your DB2 licenses. And with all things DB2, transactional, mixed, and analytical workloads, including Oracle compatibility mode that makes it easy for you to help migrate those workloads. All things that are the goodness that comes with DB2. So we talked about some of the tasks. Create database with a few minutes, clicks in a few minutes. We'll show you a demo here in a little bit. Built-in monitoring, all the same monitoring that you're getting with all your other RDS engines. This is just all of the features and capabilities of RDS combined with the power of DB2. That is the product that we brought to market. So you get things like scalability, push-button scalability. You can auto-scale your storage. You can size up, size down. All the things that you come to expect from an RDS engine are available. Available and durable. I've talked a little bit about MultiAZ, but you have the ability to deploy DB2 in the MultiAZ configuration, which gives you high availability and cross-AZ resilience for your data. You get automated backups, snapshots, and failover. All the basic things that RDS has been providing for 14 plus years are available. And it's secure and compliant. All of the certifications and all of the things that we've worked across RDS to provide are now being brought and combined with DB2. We talked a little bit about scaling up and down. We've made a lot of advancements on this with different instance types over the last year or two. So you can start with as little as 2 vCPUs and 2 gigabytes of RAM. And for cost savings for your dev test instances, if you need to stop the instance, you can stop the instance so you don't get billed for up to 7 days, and then you can restart the instance. We can scale up. So we've got some of our largest instances available, so up to 128 vCPUs and up to 1 terabyte of RAM. And on the storage side, you'll be able to scale your EBS volumes up to 64 terabytes of storage, which gets you 4 megabits a second to disk and 256,000 IOPS. This allows you to build some of the biggest and most demanding applications on DB2. And as always, there's no downtime for storage scaling. We've talked a little bit about the MultiAZ and how we're doing the various configurations. So for those of you who aren't familiar, MultiAZ is our very opinionated way of doing high availability and cross-AZ. So what we've done is we've taken DB2 and we've implemented in the same opinionated way that we've done with all the RDS engines. So when you are in MultiAZ, you have one instance in availability zone A, where it has its own EBS volume. And then you have a second instance in availability zone B with its own EBS volume. The way that we keep these in sync is we do block level replication at the block level between the databases. So therefore, when you are doing your writes, you know that as soon as your write is written, it is durable across the 2 AZs. You'll get a single endpoint, the same DB2 endpoint that you're used to getting. It just becomes available in your VPC network. Underlying all of it is the RDS monitoring and automation. So again, all the same functions, all the same routines, all the same APIs that you're used to using with all of your RDS engines now apply to DB2. So if you're running a fleet of Postgres and MySQL and SQL Server and Oracle, you can now bring these DB2 instances into that fleet, get a single pane of glass and a single API to manage all of those, with a single interface for monitoring to be able to know what's happening across the fleet of databases. And then as always, we've got Amazon S3 as our location for backups. So be able to do your automated backups, just like you do with all of your RDS products with the various policies and things that you want to do. So everything that you expect from an RDS engine is now available in DB2. And security, it's secure and compliant. So one of the most important parts of the RDS brand is how available and how secure we are. And so the network security, it's easy to integrate it directly into your Amazon VPC. There's nothing special or different about this from the other RDS engines. You've got access permissions with AWS Identity and Access Management, so you can do resource level role permissions and have full control over who has access to your data. Data encryption at rest using KMS and TLS, which gives you protection for data in transit. A lot of different pieces here, but the overlying message here is it's just like the rest of RDS. So everything that you expect from RDS, all the security, all the features are built into this engine. You can authenticate with local users and also use AWS Managed Active Directory with Kuberos for your authentication. DB2 obviously runs in a number of different environments, so you can either use your local users or you can federate authentication to your Active Directory using Amazon Managed Active Directory. Many DB2 environments are running inside of a broader corporation. Obviously, you need to have unified identity, so we made sure that this was integrated out of the box. We've done our certifications for PCI, SOC, FedRAMP, and also it's eligible for building your HIPAA compliant applications and can be part of that stack. So all of that is included just as you would expect from any of the various RDS engines. As with RDS, it's the same pricing model. You have flexibility to provide exactly what you need, only pay for what you use. Storage can scale automatically, scale up and down the compute as necessary. A very common pattern we see on RDS is we'll see larger instances during the day and then scaling down instances either at night or over the weekends as a way to save money, save on your costs. All of that works out of the box with RDS for DB2. As always, RDS decouples the storage and the compute, so you pay for them separately. You'll pay for your instance hours and you'll pay for your storage use. Two separate line items, again, just like every other RDS engine. The way that we've decided and worked with IBM is so that existing DB2 customers can bring their licenses to the service. So we're supporting DB2 standard and advanced editions. So customers that have those editions and have licenses can just bring those to the service. We'll show in the demo how we collect the information so that we can verify that you're an IBM customer. And then I think one of the most important things is that with working with IBM, we are able to make sure that your licensing for DB2 is exactly the same as on-premise. So you're getting the same licensing policies for your on-premise virtual machine workloads on AWS RDS. So the same licensing applies to both virtual machines on-premise and RDS. There's no difference between the two. And then later, we'll also talk about the work that we've been collaborating with IBM to bring availability of DB2 licenses via Marketplace and some other models to make it even easier for you to acquire additional licenses for your new workloads. You're like, great, so how do I actually get switched over? So we've done a lot of work with the database migration service, which is one of our core services that we use every day for many, many databases. So as part of the release that we did on Monday morning at 9 a.m., we also released the ability for Amazon RDS for DB2 to be a target for synchronous migrations. So if you are bringing those applications over from another DB2 instance, specifically the LUW instances, you'll be able to use DMS to bring that over and have a low downtime migration. You can also use the native DB2 migration options. So we've got streamlined migrations from AIX and Windows using the native tools. We've got faster backups you can accelerate the process by bringing those backups to S3 and then actually restoring them into RDS from the S3 bucket. And then we're also working with customers that are running DB2 on Z series to help them bring some of that data into RDS. So you could set up a read replica that is Amazon RDS for DB2, which is running LUW. You can synchronize that data over to get that data into AWS so you can start to leverage that data for your other applications. All right, with that, we'll switch to a demo. Enough of me talking. Every good talk has a demo. All right, it worked. Always nervous, even with a video. So as you can see, we're going through. The first thing we're going to do is in the RDS console is we're going to set up our parameter group. So the one thing that is a little bit different from some of the other RDS engines is you need to set up a parameter group that has your DB2 information. So what we'll do is we'll create a new parameter group. We'll hit create. We'll see this on our list of parameter groups. We'll go ahead and click on that and say edit. We got to go through all the list of parameters. So if you search for IBM, you'll see there are 2 parameters that we need on the parameter group. So one is your IBM customer ID, and your second is your IBM site ID. So these are available through your support portal where you can get this information as part of your IBM relationship. Once that information is put onto the parameter group, you just apply that parameter group to all of your DB2 instances. So you only have to do it once, and then you can reuse it for however many DB2 instances you're creating. So we've just made sure we have the name of our parameter group. We're going to go in and click the Create Database button here at the top. And now you're just into the standard RDS flow. So you can either do a standard create or a quick create, an easy create. You choose your engine. There's IBM DB2, just like all the other engines you've been used to seeing. You can choose your version. Right now, we're only offering 11.5.9. And we'll talk about a lot of the work that we did to bring that version to this product. You choose whether or not you're going to do a production or a dev test, which will help you configure your MultiAZ. You give your database a name. We need an admin username and password, so this will be the primary user on the database. Then we'll go down and actually figure out which of our instance types we want to use. So you can choose between our standard, our memory, optimize, or our burstable classes. Just like you would for any of the RDS, here's our long list of instances. If you need any help choosing the right size, please talk to your IBM rep or talk to your AWS rep. We can help you make sure we get you the appropriate size instance to help bring your workload over. You can see all the standard, all the memory, all the instances are available just as they are to all of our other RDS engines. You'll configure your storage. In this case, we've got 500 gigabytes. Again, you can scale up and down or auto increase your storage as you need it. You can decide whether or not you want to go multi-AZ or single AZ. If you're in the single AZ mode, obviously that's for non-production workloads for dev and test. All of your production workloads should be using multi-AZ to make sure you get the highest availability. Go configuring in terms of public access. Do we want this to be public accessible to the outside world? I highly recommend no. We're going to choose our VPC. So any of your existing VPCs, we can just peer this into your VPC that you have that's pre-existing. You can decide whether or not you want to use password authentication or whether or not you want to use Kerberos for your authentication method, just like you would if you were using DB2 on-premise. If you need to pass any additional database options to the instance, you can do that here. We'll choose our parameter group. It is important that you pick the parameter group that has your IBM information. If you pick a parameter group that doesn't have it, you'll get an error that says, please use a parameter group that has this information. Again, this is how we're making sure that you are an existing IBM customer, that you can bring your licenses to use on the service. Encryption is always enabled by default. We talked about automated backups, so we'll do one every 7 days. We're going to export all of our logs, both the notify log and the other logs. We'll ask about maintenance windows, deletion protection, and then we hit click, right? So all the things that you would need to provide that you would do whenever you were setting up a DB2 instance, either on-premise or on EC2, you're doing on RDS. We go ahead and click the complete button, and in about 2 minutes, we'll get our first instance. So you can see here, if you look at the status, it was creating. The status is now available. Now we can go in. That's all it takes to create a DB2 instance. You're now running DB2 on RDS with all the features and functions that you expect from RDS, and that service is now available to you. So it's as easy as that. So we've talked a lot about our collaboration we've done with IBM. IBM is a strategic partner of ours. We've been working with them for a long time here, and specifically for many months on this product. Between the two of us, tons of products on the marketplace, lots of service validation, so we're working together in a number of strategic ways. And to hear more about that from IBM themselves, I'm going to bring up Miran Badzak, who's the program director from IBM Databases.
Awesome. Thank you, Dominic. Hey, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to talk a little bit about DB2. I'm going to cover the DB2 business and some of the great collaborative work that we've done with Amazon over the last, really over the last year or so, year and a half or so. So for those that don't know, DB2 is a product, a relational database. Obviously, we've been talking about that. It's been in the market for about 30 years now. This is actually our 30th anniversary this year. It has its roots from DB2 and DB2 on Z particularly, which is a bit older than what's called DB2 distributed. But we've been out to market for 30 years with this product. It's a fantastic set of customers, around 11,000 plus, all around the world, that leverage DB2 today for all of their mission critical workloads, right? If you look at some of the customers that we have today that are using DB2, some of the largest financial institutions on the planet, some of the largest banks on the planet, all rely on DB2 every single day to run those banking applications, run those transactional workloads. Some of the largest manufacturers and car manufacturers on the planet also run DB2. They're doing some really innovative stuff like connected cars, like autonomous driving, et cetera, taking all of those data points, bringing it to DB2 to build those next generation of applications. So some of the largest firms on the planet, the 76 out of the Fortune 100, all running DB2 today to power those mission critical workloads. And I always use this example. If you bought a cup of coffee this morning at Starbucks, or you bought a pack of gum at 7-Eleven, chances are that transaction, a financial transaction, went through a DB2 database someplace. So incredibly impactful. It is really the workhorse of the modern economy, and it's invisible to a lot of us today, but it is a database that's powering all these mission critical systems. And I want to talk a little bit about the portfolio because DB2 is really a family of products, right? So there's sort of two sides to that family. One side is the OLTP, the transactional workloads, and then there's a other side which is for analytical workloads. And obviously with DB2 and RDS for DB2, we brought the transactional and mixed workloads as a fully managed service on AWS. So that's what we announced this week, and we're incredibly excited for that launch. But we also have DB2 PureScale. This is for sort of mainframe class availability on AWS. If you'd like to run DB2 PureScale, you have that option as well. That's available to you through the AWS Marketplace. And then for your analytics workloads, for your warehousing workloads, we have a product called DB2 Warehouse. This is our cloud data warehouse. Runs on AWS as a fully managed service, integrates really tightly with object storage. You can bring data from your on-premises appliance, bring that to the cloud, bring that to DB2 Warehouse. You have a fantastic solution, again, fully managed on AWS. So that's the sort of the portfolio, the DB2 portfolio, and what the product set looks like. But obviously, we're super excited about this RDS launch. This is something that's, again, been in the making for a little bit now. We're really excited to partner with Amazon on this project. One of the things that I really loved about working with Amazon was that they're very, very customer-focused, very customer-centric, and want to build the best experience for customers possible. And IBM, obviously, the same exact way. And so what we did, a lot of work that we did was to make sure that our customers really have the best possible experience when they're working with DB2 on AWS. And I think that's what we built built with RDS. So we did release, as Dominic mentioned earlier, we released effectively a new version of DB2, 11.5.9, that we made some changes and additions to as part of this broader launch and broader relationship. Some of the things that we did, we made some updates to the product to take advantage of some of the capabilities that are there for us on AWS, some of the native services that are available for us on AWS. We made some performance enhancements, particularly to backup restore. So you can, taking a backup, you can get a bit more performance than in the past with those backups to S3. And then we did a lot of work on security, making sure that you've got the best secure database that's running on RDS today that complies with both IBM's and AWS's rigorous standards. And then, as again Dominic alluded to earlier, we did build some joint migration tooling as well. So this is meant to make it easier for you and make it as frictionless as possible for you to take on-premises workloads and transition those to the cloud to AWS, right? So we did some joint work on that as well. And this is really a multi-year commitment between the two companies, right? We're obviously at launch time today, but we're just getting started as far as the product roadmap and evolving the platform going forward. So we're fully committed to this. I know AWS is fully committed to it, and we're again super excited about what we've been able to build so far, and we're just again getting started. So as we zoom out a little bit, I talked about a number of other products that we've got available, and I kind of want to give you a broader picture of what the space looks like, right? What our customers typically do with DB2, all the way from the applications down to the analytics, down to crunching the data and getting reports, dashboards out of it. So obviously, our customers, a lot of the data starts with the applications. Customers use the application that generates data, gets pumped into your database, and what we see our customers doing is they take obviously that data, and they have the option now with RDS to take that data into Amazon's or IBM's analytics stack of services. So you can do your data wrangling, data transformation, essentially data prep for analytics and reporting. So you have a number of different options to choose from AWS. We partner up with Amazon to bring some of our data and AI services over to AWS as well. So you have those available for you too, and you can take that data from your DB2 RDS and push that into, for example, DB2 Warehouse for reporting purposes, for dashboarding purposes, right? We have a fully managed service there as well. We have a product called watsonx.data. That's our lakehouse, brand new lakehouse solution as well. That's running as a fully managed service on AWS. You can take that data now, your transactional data from DB2, from RDS DB2, and bring that into watsonx.data, again for your ML, AI workloads and so on. There's a ton of integration that we built in, and again, one of the great things that our customers, that we've been talking to them, one of the great things that customers really love about RDS and about DB2 now on RDS is the fact that everything is fully integrated into the AWS ecosystem. So this is really an expansion on that. As part of this process, as part of this launch, we also tightly and closely collaborated with Amazon to certify a number of applications. And as you're all likely familiar, IBM has a very large portfolio, a very large catalog of software that our customers use every single day for their mission-critical workloads, their mission-critical applications. And so before we launched, we had a number of applications that were certified to run with DB2 running on Amazon RDS. Products like Open Pages, that's our integrated governance and compliance platform. watsonx.data, again, our new lakehouse offering is part of our watsonx platform. Cognos Analytics for BI, for reporting, dashboarding, Sterling Order Management for order fulfillment. And we're really just getting started here. So we're working very closely with Amazon, working very closely with our folks at IBM, different product teams at IBM, to make sure that all of these various applications are getting certified, and more are on the way very, very soon. And the last thing that I want to leave you with is, as part of this strategic collaboration agreement with Amazon, we're also committed, I should say, to deliver our full stack of software over to AWS as fully managed services. So as these SaaS applications are being brought online on AWS, a significant number of them, I think most of them, run DB2 as the backing database. And so we're going to be looking forward to those databases, those applications using DB2 through RDS as the backing database for those SaaS services going forward. So, as I mentioned, we're really just getting started here. There's a lot of really fantastic work ahead, and I think, coming from IBM, I know I speak for our team that we're incredibly excited that we've been able to partner up with Amazon and bring this to market. And I hope you all have a chance to try it out, use it, and get some feedback to us. We'd love to hear it. So Dominic, I'm going to turn it back over to you to close us out. Thank you.
Thanks, Miran. And again, from the Amazon side, I want to just reiterate, it's been so great to be able to work with a database partner to build this service together in collaboration. Just like on the IBM side, we're deeply committed to this. We're very excited about it. We do think this is just the beginning of the journey in terms of all the things we're going to be able to do to help customers with their DB2 workloads and their IBM application workloads. So it's really an exciting time for us, and we're really looking forward to the collaboration. So for AWS and for IBM, the partner ecosystem is critical. We can't be successful without our partners, so we're really excited that we're able to launch with a number of partners that are going to be supporting RDS for DB2 out of the box. So companies like Accenture, Deloitte, Capgemini, Cognizant, Kyndryl, TCS, Precisely. I feel like I need to say them all, the Fillmore Group. I don't want anyone to feel left out. But we're so excited that these partners have worked with us prior to the launch and are ready to go from day one to help support DB2 customers on this journey. So just to kind of summarize, what are the things that we want to make sure that you walk away from the session from? So first of all, customers have lots of DB2 running on-premise in various places. We really want to help simplify the management of those databases and those workloads using Amazon RDS for DB2. It is just RDS and all the features and capabilities we have with RDS combined with the power and the functionality that DB2 brings to those customers. We're set up to run your business-critical, transactional, operational, and analytical workloads in a single, fully managed DB2 database. So just like all of those critical workloads that are running on RDS, all of our various engines, DB2 is fully ready to take on those mission-critical applications with all of the functionality and guarantees that you come to expect from an RDS engine. It's fully integrated, so you get access. Your data that you have sitting in your DB2 instance now is fully integrated with all of your AWS services, as well as all your IBM services for things like data warehousing, for your analytics, for your ML and AI. We've made many announcements at AWS and also with IBM around generative AI. All of this is integrated so that the data that you have here can be leveraged to help train your models and to make sure that you have the best quality, whether it be machine learning models or whatever you're doing downstream from your database. So as Miran said, we're very excited for people to get started today. Here's the link. It's just RDS DB2. Get started. It's all available to you as of Monday. So please poke around. Tell us what you think. Please provide feedback if you have any. So in terms of next steps, if you want to learn more about RDS for DB2, there's a number of additional opportunities. So there's the innovation talk this afternoon with Jeff Carter and Manaz from IBM, as well as Raul. So you'll be able to go and attend that. We have RDS experts at the AWS booth. There's DB2 experts at the IBM booth. So please come and visit either of those booths. Feel free to ask any questions. There may or may not be some T-shirts at the IBM booth if you're interested. And obviously, feel free to schedule any conversations with either your AWS rep, your IBM rep. Happy to attend together. We've been doing a number of meetings here at reInvent together with customers, which has been really great. And so, as we've said, it's in the console, so please take a look at the product, give us some feedback, and at the end, please complete your survey just so we know whether or not this was a useful session. So thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. Everyone have a wonderful reInvent.